After learn transformation tool, in this class we learn about selection or selection filters. I already create couple of objects in the viewport. Some objects are 3D object. You can also create with the same method that we create a box in the last class. But there are some other objects also that I create like 2D shape, lights, text, camera. So we can learn about selection filter. First we talk about the scene explorer area. Here you can see all the filters are selected. They turn blue, it's mean they are selected. But there are some other buttons, they are not turned into blue. First button is display all. Second button is display none. And third button used for invert the selection. If I click on the second button, that is display none, you can see all the selection filters are disabled. Now you are not able to see any object that I create on the viewport. Now I click on the first button, that is display all. Now you can see all the object that I create in the viewport. But in case if you want to see only 3D geometry object in this area, so what you can do now, first click on the display none button and then click on the first icon, that is sphere. When you click on this icon, you can see only 3D geometry object in this area. By clicking on them, you can select them, or by clicking on the I button, you can hide them. If you hide any object and you want to reveal again, just right click in this area, or you can also right click on the viewport. On the right click, you can see couple of options that available related to hide. Click on the unhide all button. By this option you can unhide a hide object. Same as in case if you want to see only 2D shape in this area, first disable this or turn off, then click on the shape icon and now you can see only 2D shapes. By clicking on these, you can select them. Same as you can also use other filters like lights. If I turn off 2D shape, now you can see only light object. By clicking on them, you can select them. Or same as I click on the camera icon and turn off this light icon, and you can see I create a camera from the top viewport. And these icons for other type object like helpers and so on. If you want to turn on all the items, click on the display all button. So these options work only inside the scene explorer area. Now I talk about the selection filter that available for the viewport area. By clicking on this drop down, you can see geometry, shape, light, different filters are available here. If you want to work with geometries or 3D object, select geometry here and then create a window selection. Now you can see only 3D objects are selected. Same as in case if you want to work with 2D shape like these, so first change the selection. Now I select shapes and same as I create a window selection again. Now you can see only 2D shapes are selected. If you want to work with lights, select light from this drop down list and create a window selection. Now you can select only lights object. When you select any object on the viewport, that also highlight in the scene explorer area, you can see all the light objects are selected. So these selection filters are very useful if you are working with a very busy plan like interior or exterior. If you want to work with only lights or cameras and you didn't want to move any 3D or 2D shapes, you can select camera or light from this drop down area. In case if you want to select all the object, select all. Now you can select all the viewport geometries. Now I click outside to deselect all the shapes. After learn selection filter, now we talk about selection behavior in 3ds Max. In case if you want to select only one object on the viewport, you can simply click on that object. That object start glowing, it means it's selected. If you want to select multiple objects with the same clicking method, you can press Ctrl key and then click on the next object. So by using this control key, you can select multiple object. After selecting multiple object, in case if you want to deselect a selected object, press Alt key and then click again on the selected object. So that object will deselect. So these power key like Control or Alt are very useful if you want to select multiple object or deselect a already selected object. But in case if you want to select multiple object with the selection window, like if you click and hold on one point and then drag your mouse, you can see a dashed line appear on the viewport. It's a selection window. When you release your mouse, you can see that object touch this line or they are inside the selection window, they got selected. I select again. If I click and drag and this line selected this corner object. Now I release my mouse, you can see these objects are also selected. So this selection called window selection. If this selection window touch any object, that object got selected when you release your mouse. And there is a second selection behavior, that is crossing. When you click on this icon, you can see two type selection method available. When you click on this, icon will change, and now I create a window selection again with the same steps and then release my mouse. Now you can see these objects not selected because they are not inside the selection window. Now I click on this icon again because it's a toggle icon. By clicking on this, it will toggle. Maximum time we use this rectangle selection window for creating selection. If you click and hold on this icon, you can see other selection shapes also available. By clicking on the second icon, you can create a circle shape. So by using this method, you can also make selections. Now I select third selection behavior, that is a freeform selection behavior. Just click and hold on one point and then move your mouse, then release. You can see a second point is created. Same as you can just click and create a freeform path. When you hover your mouse on the start point, a plus icon will appear. When you click here, that object inside that window, they got selected. So it's also very useful in case if you want to create a freeform selection like this. Now I click and hold on this icon and then select this lasso selection. By click and hold and then drag your mouse, you can create a freeform shape like this, and then release your mouse, selection will complete and these objects are selected. These selection method work with both method, that is window or crossing. Most of time I use this crossing selection. In case if you want to use window selection, you can also select. Now I select our next selection behavior, that is paintbrush. If you click and hold, a circle will appear. When you hover this circle, any object, you can see that object got selected. So it's also a very interesting selection method. You can try this.